In May of 1995, English alternative rock group Pulp released the song Common People. It was based on one of the band members' experiences in college. He was studying at the Central St. Martin's College for Art and Design when he met a student from Greece, who we see in the song, to be absolutely obsessed with working class Britain. While she comes from an extremely wealthy background, she wants to, quote, live like common people. The song itself is a criticism of these upper class people who romanticise the life of being poor. They themselves don't face any of the problems that come with being poor. They treat it as this cool, edgy aesthetic. But this song is over 30 years old. Why is it suddenly trending again, with people completely misinterpreting what it's about? Good question. An American music group, My Chemical Romance, have released a deluxe edition of their album Danger Days, and featured on this album were a multitude of covers from the previous years that were never really available on streaming before, and one of these covers was their pretty old cover of Common People. And this alone, to me, was rather funny, because My Chemical Romance have to be some of the biggest, most prolific capitalists in the alternative music space as of today. Just to give you an example of this, while I was looking for images of the Danger Days Deluxe, right underneath it I see 4 pin badges for $20. $20 for 4 tiny pins is pathetic. There's so many more examples of their merchandise being horrifically overpriced, and that's not even getting into their ticket prices. So I just found it hilarious that My Chemical Romance, of all people, covered this song, and it gets even worse when you learn what their team's been doing behind the scenes. But thanks to My Chemical Romance, this song got heavily popularised in the US, and it seems that they have completely missed the point entirely. The general British audience already knew what this song was about. They knew it was about class tourism and how the upper class use poverty as an aesthetic, and how the common people in this song are genuinely struggling in their day-to-day life because of their financial situation. But when the Americans were introduced to this song by My Chemical Romance, how did they interpret it? What did they think? What was their takeaway from this song? I grew up being told it's okay to be different from everyone, and that's still how I live my life now. I make a living off of not being the common person, and I love it. The older I get, the less I care about fitting in. The music is still too loud, the jokes are still inappropriate, and my personality still takes up too much space. I'll never be one of those common people. I got older, but I never became one of the common people. I just became more comfortable being myself. Fitting in is boring. Stand out. Never be like common people. When I was younger, I was always scared to express myself publicly and online due to being judged. Now I built a career off making art and putting myself in the public eye. I'll never be one of the common people. Alright, I think I've seen enough. What the hell was that about? You're telling me that Americans heard these lyrics and interpreted the song as in, it's good to be different and that you shouldn't aspire to be like these, quote, common people. You're telling me that they equated the common people in this song to normies. Are you kidding me? But is it really that simple? Are these people genuinely misunderstanding the song? Or have they just not listened to the song because they're just being paid to promote it? Remember this image that I included here? This is a popular alternative influencer called Johnny Gilbert, and someone in the My Chemical Romance Reddit group posted this. Johnny got into a lot of hot water for this post, and so he made a comment clarifying and apologising for what he did, saying that the My Chemical Romance team actually paid him to make this post, and that he didn't look into the song because he was simply just being paid to promote it. But at least he apologised and took the video down because he can admit that he got it wrong and that he should have actually looked into the song before promoting it. But this leads me to ask a very important question. Were all of these examples that I showed earlier undisclosed paid promotions of this cover? Now, most of his fan base had no idea that Johnny Gilbert's video was a paid promotion until he clarified it. So that leads me to ask, are all of these videos just the same? Were all these people genuinely misunderstanding the song? Or are they just making up some generic caption because they were paid to promote the song? Well, here's my take on it. Now that we know that Johnny Gilbert was paid to make his post, a lot of these ones that I showed before make a lot more sense. All of these videos that I've shown you, including Johnny Gilbert's, all follow the same structure. They're all about how good it is to stand out from the crowd, and that they're so different, meaning they're not like these, quote, common people, who they basically equate to being normal/normies. Absolutely none of these videos talk about the nuances of the song. So, were all of these people paid? Or are they just genuinely misunderstanding the song? Well, in my opinion, regardless of if they were paid, they still misunderstood the song. The only confirmed paid promotion is Johnny Gilbert, and he admits that he didn't do enough research into what the song was about. So what I've learnt from this is that My Chemical Romance's team wasn't really providing them with what sort of content they should make. They were basically just paying him to promote the song. They weren't telling him to talk about class struggle, they were just telling him to make a video that would sort of boost the streams of the song. And I have pointed out that the rest of these videos all follow the exact same format. So are they being paid, or are they just genuinely misunderstanding it? Well, I'm not a part of My Chemical Romance's team, so I can't exactly confirm if I paid them myself to promote the song. But I still feel like regardless of if they were paid or not, they still fundamentally misunderstood the song. Johnny Gilbert said that he misunderstood it completely and that he didn't do enough research. So if these people were paid too, it also shows that they didn't put enough research in either, and that they probably just listened to the chorus or just skipped through the song, and that they just saw the phrase common people and thought, oh, this song's about being different. I'm gonna make a video about that. So I feel like regardless of if these people were paid to make these videos, they still fundamentally misunderstood the song. And there's some mild sympathy from me towards these influencers who were potentially paid to make these videos. I can totally understand just wanting to make some money, because this economy is hard, especially for small online creators. So I can imagine seeing an email from My Chemical Romance's team asking you to promote the song in exchange for some pay. I would be over the moon. So I don't blame these influencers like Johnny Gilbert who were paid to make TikToks about this song. Except maybe not Johnny Gilbert himself, as he makes a lot of money. He could have definitely afforded to decline that brand deal, but my sympathy absolutely goes out to all the smaller creators who accepted the My Chemical Romance TikTok deal. But my sympathy stops when you misinterpret a song that is so obviously not up to any interpretation. The fact that all of these influencers misunderstood the song as about being alternative instead of lower class is really disturbing. As someone who is from England, I have seen what poverty does to people. It is horrible. And the fact that they can misinterpret a song that is so obviously about poverty and how rich people love to, shall I say, LARP being poor to seem cool is really concerning to me. And I know this phrase has been completely misused and just completely regurgitated, but media literacy is dying. And for these Americans who, let's be real, British people do make fun of Americans back, like when Americans make fun of us and then we immediately jump to gun violence is really disturbing. I really don't like when British people use that as like a gotcha moment for Americans. But let's be real, Americans do make fun of us a lot, especially for our teeth and our food. And you might say, oh, well, it's not that deep, it's not that deep. Yes, it is. Everything is that deep. Shut up. The fact that the things Americans make fun of us for is mostly lower class issues is gross. They love to make fun of our teeth, but most working class people can't afford dental treatment, and that's why their dental problems go unchecked for so long. Because while our healthcare might be free, dentistry for over 18s is not. For example, if you need braces later in life, when you're above the age of 18, you have to pay. They also love to make fun of our struggle meals like beans on toast, when in reality, beans on toast has to be one of the most affordable meals in the UK, therefore lots of lower income families rely on it. A tin of beans from Aldi is around 27p, and a loaf of bread is around 55p, therefore making it a very accessible meal for working class households. And like I said before, British people absolutely make fun of Americans back, often in really disgusting and disrespectful ways. I do not agree with that. But I also don't agree with the way Americans talk about lower class British people, because a lot of their insults tend to be aimed at lower class people, intentional or not. A lot of their jokes are classism, and this is why it breaks my heart to see these videos. And while these people may have just skimmed through the song and made these sort of generic captions because they were just promoting music to get paid, but it's still quite embarrassing to promote a song that you have absolutely no idea what it's about. And it's also quite embarrassing for My Chemical Romance to pay people to promote this song when it's not even their song, it's a cover. The My Chemical Romance team is paying people to promote a song that's not even theirs, that's about class struggle and the rich cosplaying the poor to seem cool, when I have already been over why it's ironic for My Chemical Romance to release this song and make money off of it in the first place. And now they're paying people to promote it to make more money off of this song. But regardless of if these people were paid or not, the complete misunderstanding of this song is a joke. So let me just say it one more time. No, Americans, common people is not about being yourself or being alternative. That is not what the song is about. The meaning of this song is so painfully obvious that I'm just confused how people miss the point this bad. And seeing influencers like Johnny Gilbert with millions in their bank account make posts like this, regardless of if he apologised, was so ironic. Because yeah, you're right. You'll never be like common people, just not in the way that you thought. And I don't really have much left to say about this. I've said that regardless of if these people were being paid, these videos are still really ignorant, and that My Chemical Romance should never have monetized this cover in the first place. But now their team is paying people to promote it to get more money into My Chemical Romance's bank account. And while I don't blame the influencers for taking this brand deal, the way they all misunderstood this song is so ignorant and shows that critical thinking and class consciousness is going down the drain. But if you like this sort of angry rant content, stick around because I'm sure there's going to be plenty more. And that's about it from me. Bye!